And welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at some very interesting gameplay here, because this is the gameplay from the current rank 1 in the world player with their team here, which is actually a team that I kinda played as well already before. I usually used either the Dunsparce or the Registeel in the lead, but all those Pokemon basically, same with these Sandslash here, have basically the same, kind of function there. They're going to try to counter flying type Pokemon. That's the main reason for this. Here, most likely for them, the saves are going to be Medicham in order to bait out potential flying type Pokemon while still having access to the move Ice Punch, and then having hopefully something that is weak against Trevenant in the back. This is a team that I also played basically before already, and it was really nice for me. Here we're going to see gameplay at like really high elo range, of course. This is the, basically I think he was at like rank 5 at this point of time, but is now rank 1 in the world with this. Interesting enough to see a Nidoqueen here. I actually wouldn't expect to see a Nidoqueen in the high ratings here, but we're going to see a lot of forfeits already because he just hardware the opponents. Right now, we're going to see a very interesting detail with Sableye. That's definitely where you kind of want to see it. This is where, for example, like maybe Dunsparce or Registeel a little bit more, because I feel like this can be a little bit of a problem, but let's take a look at this one now. We're going to see the foul play coming through. You're going to shield this move up, of course, because you're pretty weak against this Pokemon in the back there as well. As you can go ahead, go for the Ice Punch. Going to get the final shield by the opponent. Are you going to use your final shield here as well? You're going to do exactly that. And now we're both having no shields for the opponent there, so you can go ahead and go for the Ice Punch. Don't know if this is actually going to knock them out. Ice Punch is not a good move, but still going to knock them out, and you can align your Pokemon correctly. So just staying in here is the right call, as you can now go into your Medicham and go into the Trevenant to knock out the opponent's Registeel. This is actually a team that I showcased recently, the opponent's team there as well, with Sableye in the lead and 2 Steel types in the back. But yeah, this is very interesting to see like some gameplay from this range. If you enjoy this video, please leave a like. There is a different video actually was planned for this time, but just because I have the gameplay right now, I put this one for later. But leave a like on the video if you enjoy those rank 1 in the world teams, and also this time around rank 1 in the world gameplay, because I don't have to play these games. And we can take a look at what the opponent's going to do here. We're going to see the Ice Punch coming through. You can always take one Ice Punch with the Trevenant for sure, as you can go ahead and go for one Shadow Ball here right now as well. It's going to knock out the opponent's Medicham, as you see the LilyNiRiain Stunfisk coming in here. Shadow Ball going to do a ton of damage against them as well. And at this point of time, it looks pretty decent for you. You can let this move go through, and you have now a 2-shielded Medicham against the opponent's Altaria, and you have Ice Punch for this Pokemon. And this is exactly where you really want to have Ice Punch on Medicham. I see a lot more people running Power Punch recently, but for something like an Altaria, Ice Punch is literally the way to go here. As you're going to see that they're going to shield this move up, but I don't think the opponent has a chance here anymore, because Ice Punch is going to be available pretty soon again, and the opponent has one what's called one LilyNiRiain Stunfisk in the back anyway, and you will be able to easily win this matchup at this point of time, as you can just counter them down and the opponent going to forfeit. So far so good. A lot of games already in just 3 minutes here so far. Let's take a look at the next game. We're going to see the Alolan Ninetales and also a Machamp coming in right now. Shadow Machamp is a very cool Pokemon here as well. This could be actually my brother that he's battling here right now, which is kind of funny, because I know that Heroes are running something similar. If this is a Registeel in the back, it might be my brother that he's battling right now. That would be kind of funny. Let's take a look what the opponent coming into right now. Most likely Ninetales again. It's going to be the Ninetales, as they're going to see now the Shadow Ball coming through here, and we're going to see the Shadow Ball coming through again. Let's take a look at this one. Going to do some decent damage usually, but they're going to let this move go through. We're going to see here the Ninetales coming through as well. Going to go for Dazzling Gleam, going to do some decent damage, and let's take a look what they're going to have in the back. You're actually going to let this move go through. I guess you still survive a Weather Ball here, double resisted, and you can still go for the Ice Punch. Now it's all or nothing. Let's see if the Medicham can deal with this Pokemon here and whatever they have in the back. It's the Registeel. It actually might be my brother that he's battling here right now, which is kind of funny. But yeah, we will see here the Psychic coming through, and we will be able to see the Zapcan coming through now as well. Registeel can win this in the 0 shields theoretically, but I think also with the debuff right now, you should be maybe fine here to just farm them down and knock them out with that one. And yeah, they don't even get to another charge move here, and you will be able to just win this game. So good game there. It's most likely was my brother, which is kind of funny. Let's take a look at the next game. We're going to see the Frosters. Froster is going to be an interesting one as well, as you see the Medicham coming in right now. This is going to be a hard counter matchup for the opponent. There's not a lot they can do about this one right now. Of course, Trevenant always going to win this matchup, and also Trevenant going to get a ton of energy here. And this extra energy will be really beneficial against the incoming Frosters, because you're going to get guaranteed a shield here as well, or the knockout from the opponent. Let's take a look. They most likely going to shield this move up, and you can go back into your Sandslash, put them even lower for the Shadow Claw downrange even, as they're gonna go for one Avalanche bait. Very smart decision here. You can go for one charge move here. The timing of your moves is really great. You saw, for example, with the Trevenant as well, that they overfarmed a little bit, so even if the opponent would have let the move go through, that they had less health left, so the opponent wouldn't be able to farm them down. Like this, we're going to see the Chestnut coming in here, and you will be able to go into your Medicham in order to win this game. A lot of times you hard counter the opponent just based on the team matchup, which is something that's very interesting to see. I guess a lot of people are not really into like I don't know, like really expecting the Sandslash. It's a 3-2, so I don't know where the 2 losses were, but maybe they're still coming. Could be the case. I think it's full set, so they're most likely still coming. As said before, here you see also the rating of this player, 3,372. My editing software just randomizes the game, so like I don't think that they cut this out, because I have 10 battles from them and there are 2 sets in there, so they're most likely still coming. Here we're going to see the boulders coming through, going to do some decent damage against the opponent's Galarian Stunfisk. Let's take a look at this. Earthquake coming through here, going to get shielded. This is going to be very nice for you. Actually interesting to see that you're going to stay in here. If I was the player that played this team, I most likely would have swapped out here, because we have kind of an ABB line. But I guess you can still win this if you go one shield down, which is a pretty decent decision, I guess, as you will be able to have now a great time here against whatever the opponent brings in. We're going to see the Medicham coming in here against you. Of course, you kind of would like to align your Trevenant instead, but you're still going to be able to go for one Psychic and one Ice Punch before the opponent can knock you out, so it's going to be an okay matchup for you as well. Psychic coming through, and you can still go for the Ice Punch, which you're exactly going to do here as well, before the opponent gets to the Psychic. The opponent would have got to the Psychic one turn before you, but here we're going to see now the Noctowl coming in. This is going to be an interesting matchup. I think you still might lose this game here, because I think Noctowl can knock out your Sandslash usually, because if they shield this move up here, you're definitely going to have some problem. Let's take a look. They're going to shield this move up. I think one Shadow Ball going to knock you out, and I think then you have no chance of winning this game. And indeed, this is exactly what's going to happen here. So I think this is a top left already if you really want to, because there is, yeah, honestly, there's nothing that you can do at this point of time. You're just going to let this move go through. The opponent can farm you down, and there is not a lot that you can do about this one here, as we see now the knockout from the Noctowl. Noctowl can be a little bit tricky if your lead is gone. That's why I like to see the ABB line style there. Here we see also the next set completed. Maybe should have put it in order, because I didn't know that they had the end rewards in there, but sorry about this one. I guess it doesn't really matter too much, but here we're going to see the next charge move coming through from the Sandslash, going to be the shielded one against the Lantern, as we see a Surf coming through. You want to swap out here. You already kind of lost your Sandslash here, which can be a little bit difficult, because, yeah, kind of lost, of course, because if they have a Noctowl in the back, this might be tricky. The opponent going to shield up the move against the Frosters. You could actually go ahead and shield up both moves from the opponent, most likely going to be, actually a Shadow Ball. Can you go for the Psychic in time? You're going to overfarm, because you know that the opponent going to throw at the same time, which is a very smart decision. Very high skilled battles here, as you see the Psychic going to knock out the opponent now, and you will be able to realign, which is going to be very crucial for you. Let's take a look what they have in the back here. Going to be the Noctowl. Like I said, again, this is going to be a little bit tricky. You can go ahead and go for the Ice Punch here, but the opponent most likely going to throw before that. You kind of want to maybe catch the move here. I think I would have tried to swap into my Sandslash, trying to pressure the opponent of throwing that charge move already. But now we're going to see that you're going to be able to keep one charge move alive there. You should be able to win CMP. I think you win this game now. I think there is nothing that the opponent can do here about this anymore. Let's take a look at this one. We see the Seed Bomb coming through here. It's going to knock out the opponent's Lantern. And I think if you just go for another Seed Bomb straight away, you should be able to win CMP against the opponent. And you definitely knock them out with one Seed Bomb there. Not Seed Bomb, with one Ice Punch there. So this should be a pretty decent game for you, as you even can go for another one here, which is going to put them even lower. But I think if you get to the Ice Punch here, which you do, you will be able to win this game still. So very well played there. Knowing the win con is something that is really important. For example, there, keeping the Ice Punch alive and then swapping out into your Trevenant was such a smart decision and basically won you the game. This is something that you don't really see all the time, and like a lot of people like in lower ratings have the issue that they don't find the win con, and this was, for example, the win con of this player. So that's something that you can definitely keep in mind. Trying to find the end game, basically, trying to align your Pokemon perfectly so the end game can work out. It's kind of like chess a little bit here, of course, in a way smaller format, where you just try to align your Pokemon so that you're going to still have like this final charge move alive that you're going to help your end game. Stuff like this is like this things that I see a lot of times are missing in like lower Eater ranges. Of course, if you want to learn it, there's a link in the description for coaching, but here we're going to see the Umbreon, which is actually a really bad Pokemon for you to deal with. The thing with Umbreon is, of course, it's going to be able to resist both the Shadow Claws from your Pokemon. You have 2 Pokemon with Shadow Claw here, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. We're going to see the Foul Play coming through, doesn't knock you out quite yet, and we're going to see the Deoxys coming back in now. You can at least align your Traveler now against the opponent's Deoxys. I guess you have no choice but letting this move go through. You're going to get a ton of energy here, luckily, but the opponent going to get a ton of damage against you already. And like this, you're going to be super low already, that I feel like there's not a lot that you can do with the amount of health left that you have there. And it's going to be, honestly, I didn't expect this one, a Guzzlord. That's kind of wild. I kind of wanted to try out Guzzlord as well, and I actually thought about the exact same team of the opponent, so maybe I'm going to try this Pokemon out like this as well again. But very funny to see a Guzzlord like this again, but here we're going to see, sadly, the opponent going to be able to still go for one charge move here with the Umbreon. Going to be a foul play, you will be able to let this next move go through here, of course, but it's going to be game over. Like, there's nothing that you can do here anyway. But very cool to see a Guzzlord in that high elo range. It's really, really cool to see. Another Deoxys defense in the lead. Deoxys defense is right now a very cool Pokemon to use because it is just a very, very neutral against a lot of things. The Sableye is not as common anymore as it was in previous seasons, so like it's basically the hardest answer for this Pokemon. While you have Courage, a Thunderbolt, and the what's called the Psycho Boost against a lot of Pokemon, it's a very, very cool Pokemon to use right now. Actually, I think Thunderbolt is maybe even a little bit better right now as well than Rock Slide because of Registeel. But honestly, a very cool Pokemon to use in the current meta. Thunderbolt coming through here, going to do some decent damage. And you can still even survive this Ice Punch coming in here for the Deoxys. But they're still going to shield this move up, which I guess does make some kind of sense. A very good call here. This must be a Psycho Boost at this point of time. Very great call by the, like, you're going into the Sandslash. But I think the opponent is running a triple counter team, and I don't think there's anything that you can do about this one here right now. If they're going to have, like, something like a Vigoroth in the back, it's actually kind of wild to see, like, those, actually, I don't know, not as crazy bulky. It's not everything is like Bastion, Medicham, or Lickitung stuff or whatever. Like, you have a lot of those squishier teams or more interesting teams coming in here, which is really cool to see. So yeah, this is going to be it also for this video now, as you can farm on the opponent. Let's take a look what's coming in. It's going to be a Gliscor. This should be a loss for you, I feel like. I don't know if you can still win this game here. We're going to see the Shield actually coming up. Maybe you can still go for the Shadow Ball in time. I'm not sure about this. No, you cannot. There's going to be a loss here for the final one. Hope you enjoyed this video. Still, thanks for sending me this gameplay, and I hope I see you in the next video as well. Bye!